Hey y'all, happy Thursday. And I'm hoping that my lighting looks okay. Let's see. So I'm probably just gonna take it down there. So I'm still figuring this thing out. I don't know if I mentioned to you all, I have my new setup with my ring light, so I'm just trying to make sure that everything looks good. So my sister joined. Hello, Luanda. Glad you can make it. So as always, we're gonna wait to see if anyone else is going to pop up. But in the meantime, I just wanted to give you all some updates. So if you missed my Let It Go Wednesday video last night, someone else joined. Hello. If you missed Let It Go Wednesday, make sure that you go to @Masterpieces Writing on IG or Confessions of a Good Girl on YouTube and make sure that you check it out. I talked about the power of connection, which was super duper personal for me because I was a person who tried to avoid connection. However, having connection has just blessed me tremendously. So I am sharing my story, my testimony, and my hope is that anyone who's been afraid of connection or anyone who hasn't had the best experiences, that they will be willing to try it again, because we're meant to be connected to other people. We just have to figure out how to be connected to them in a healthy way. Thank you. My sister says she loves this color shirt on me and my earrings. Thank you. Really, this has been pulled for me to wear like months ago. So it's still not summer attire, but because I really liked, the cut of the shirt and the color, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with it. But I'm hoping I can get through this video without getting too hot. Because it really is like more so for like spring, when you're coming out of winter. So I'm hoping that I can get through this, you know, and don't sweat too much. And I did think the earrings would jazz it up a bit. So I'm glad you like it. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. It is 6:03. And let me know if the sound of the fans is too loud because I can hear it. So, and I can see my earrings are moving. So if you're wondering what's going on, it's the desk fan that I have. So if it's too much, just let me know. But I'm in here keeping cool. So if you have noticed, the title for tonight's video, it is how to turn sales copy into money. And this is directly tied to my new course, which I just released the pre-orders for on Monday. And it is entitled Copy This, Copywriting for Business 101. So this course is for you if you are a business owner, freelancer, side hustler, or if you're interested in becoming either of those things. And it is going to teach you some tips and strategies to help make copywriting lucrative for you and for your business. So whether you need it just to reach your audience or whether you want to freelance, you want to write for other people, I'm telling you, copywriting is always in demand. It is definitely something to tap into, and I'm going to give you a snippet of what is in the course tonight. And thank you, Luanda. And I just want you all to just sit back and relax, and I'm going to try not to be on here too long, but you will have some homework to do if you want to learn more. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I tell you this before I forget. So there are a lot of different moving parts when it comes to writing copy. However, to save you some steps, I have already done a video on YouTube, and I believe it's 5 ways to write copy that sells. Make sure you go to Masterpieces Writing and Editing LLC on YouTube and check that video out. And also, it's in the link in bio. So I made it even simpler for you to go to. So just go to the link in the bio, click on bio, click on Masterpieces Writing and Editing LLC, and it will take you directly to the YouTube channel. And also, once you leave here, I'm also going to have something else for you to check out, and it is actually a live video that I have already done, and it discusses writing copy for websites. But I'm going to try to remember to remind you guys of that before we leave here because I haven't gotten to that part yet. However, my goal with this course is just to help people tap into different areas that can set them up for financial freedom. And the goal with any business, it is to make money. And even with knowing the 5 ways to write copy that sells, those are just the principles. However, you still have to have a formula to plug those principles into in order for it to work correctly. So that's what I'm going to talk to you all about tonight, and it's going to be 4 different areas plus a bonus area to help you structure your copy so that it can sell, so that it can put more money in your pocket. And one of the best ways to make sure that you are creating effective copy that puts money in your pocket is to make sure that you are creating a conversation with your audience that they want to continue. Just think about any of your favorite brands while you still continue to follow their content, while you open their emails. They're keeping you engaged. And that is the point of any effective sales copy. You are continuing a conversation. And with any conversation, you have to have a really good introduction. So that is my first point. You have to have a catchy title or headline. So think about going back to those emails that you open, the post that you stop and read. What is it that captures your attention? It's that headline, the first thing that you see. And I like to see that as your first introduction. And whether it's you just introducing who you are as a brand or who you are as a business, or if you're just introducing a topic. Because this applies not only to social media and emails and websites, it applies to a blog too. And oftentimes you have different topics that you discuss. So just reaching your audience, letting them know right out the gate, hey, this is what I'm going to talk about, without exactly saying it in that way. So just to give you an example of the email that I sent to my mailing list on Tuesday, I was like, how does financial freedom sound? And anyone who is interested in reaching financial freedom, which is a lot of us, they would be interested in clicking on the email and opening it. Like, okay, let me see what she is talking about. And a lot of people see it as a hook, like you want to hook people in. But you do not want to be manipulative. You do not want to be deceptive, because there's a lot of clickbait out there, and I am not a fan of clickbait. YouTube is notorious for this. It'll tell you one thing in the title, you get on the video, and something completely different. So please do not do that with your copy. Make sure that it's still relevant and that it's just giving a snippet, because you don't want to give every single thing away. Even when you're structuring titles for your blog posts, which I talk more about in my course, you still want to incorporate those keywords, but you still want people to be willing to figure out, like, okay, as they're reading, what it is that you're talking about. You don't want the title to just give every single thing away. The point is for them to read the content. So, like I said, first impressions, that first introduction, make sure that you have a catchy headline or a title. So, number 2, this one is the big one. You have to have engaging content. So, like I mentioned with the YouTube videos, so you see the title, you click on the video, what are they even talking about? And people will click off. They will not want to continue reading if they're reading a blog post or an email, even on Instagram. Like, I do that a lot. I see the headline, then when I get to the content, like, wait a minute, this is all over the place. Or even if you see it's something that you don't even find that offers you value, something that you don't see relevant, you're not going to continue reading. Thank you. My sister is posting the tips. Thank you. So yes, number 1, catchy headline and title. So going back to the engaging content, which will be discussed in that video I told you guys to check out on YouTube, you have to know your audience. And in order to create engaging content, you have to speak to what they're interested in. You have to speak to their wants, their needs, things that they are going to find interesting. So one of the things that I recently listened to on a podcast, so the host was saying that you really have to know who you are talking to. Like, really make it a person, make it an avatar, give it a name, give them a location. Where do they live? What do they watch? What do they listen to? Because that will determine the type of content that you create. And like I mentioned before, you want to offer them value. Because if you're just creating a lot of content just because it sounds nice to you, it's not engaging your audience. So they're not going to continue to consume the content. And I believe I mentioned this to you guys before. A lot of the content that I share are based on things that people have asked me to talk about. Or whenever I posted my Ask Me Anything on Fridays, they will leave questions. It's like, you know what? I think this is something that I need to talk about, which is one reason why I'm making a point to talk about creating content more, creating copy, because that's one of the main things that I get from a lot of people. Because, of course, you have the idea, but when it comes to actually executing it, giving it strategy, that's where a lot of people don't know where to start, which is where I come in. Yes, in order to have engaging content, know your audience. Create content that appeals to their needs, offer them value. Yes. And like I mentioned, if you go to YouTube and you check out 5 Ways to Write Copy That Sells, you will hear me talk more about how to figure out who your audience is and how to appeal to them. So, we got our catchy title, we got engaging content. So the next thing to do is to utilize adequate spacing. This one is a big one, especially for me. So outside of me being a business owner, I'm also a consumer. That doesn't stop just because I'm a business owner. And have you ever heard of the phrase too long didn't read? If someone comments TLDR, that's what they mean. And it is a lot of posts. And I know that they had the potential to offer a lot of great value. But if it's a lot of words at one time, it is not broken up, I am not going to read it. I am so sorry. I'm not going to read it. And most people think the way that I think because it's not easy to flow through. It's not easy to digest. Even though, like I said, you may have some amazing gems. People are going to be turned off by it. They're not going to want to read it. So one thing to do is to just make sure that you have your content broken apart into smaller paragraphs. There are times where I have only one sentence in a paragraph by itself, sometimes two. Of course, when you're writing emails and blog posts, you can go a little longer, probably 4 or 5 sentences. But if it is super duper chunky, super lengthy, you need to break it up and give people small pieces that they can easily digest. Because even if you do have a lot of information, and it's a lot of valuable information, you can make it easy for people to approach it. And when they look at all of it together, it's like, oh, this is a lot, this is overwhelming. But when you give it to them a little at a time, they will read through everything and they will be at the end before they know it. So make sure that you're utilizing that white space, making sure that things are broken apart, that they're not all jumbled together. Yes, my sister said me neither. I would like to, but sometimes I just don't feel like reading. I do a lot of reading at work. Same thing with me, which is another reason why I do not like to see it on social media and emails. It is a turn off to me. You know, people have shorter attention spans now. So it's like you got to pull them in with that catchy headline or title, give them that engaging content, but also make sure it's easy for them to read through. It's easy for them to digest. So, number 4. So we got our catchy title, headline. We also have our engaging content. We have our adequate spacing. So this one is one of the most important ones. You have to give a clear call to action. And I say give a clear call to action because just buy my book or buy my product, sign up for my mailing list. Even though while sometimes, yes, that might work, it's still not all that clear. You know, so you do want to give them a whole lot more than just like a demand. Like a call to action is inspiring them to take an action, not forcing them to take an action. And that's the difference. So just to give you all an idea, like I mentioned, going back to the email that I sent, my mailing list, it's like, hey, you know, if you want to learn how to write copy that makes money, it's like, make sure that you go and pre-order your copy. So it's like you want to invite them into the experience. You want to make them feel as if they're a part of it. Yes, I love that. My sister said it's like breaking a meal into appetizer, entree, and dessert. I love that. That's a great way to approach it because when you sign up for my course, I will give you personal examples that I have created myself, and I will show you like how to break things up, how to have it structured. You know, and that's a really great way to like you give them a little bit, then you give them a lot, and then here's the treat. You know, so it all is the full course meal all together. I absolutely love that. So, like I said, with the clear call to action, make sure that you're giving them more than just sign up, click here, do this. And one of the things that I absolutely love to do is just to pose questions to my audience. So even if it's something that I'm sharing and it's just my thoughts, I want to know your thoughts too. So what do you think about so-and-so? With all of my live videos, I always have a question after I write my copy. And even though they are much shorter as far as word count, still effective. You know, I tell people a brief summary of the video, then I pose a question. And even if they may not have been all the way interested from what they read in the copy, once they get to that question, it's like, I want to leave a comment. I want to share my thoughts on this. And even something as simple as telling people to drop an emoji or if it's something that you're promoting and it's like, who's ready for the new release? And it's like, tell them to comment, I'm ready. I do that a lot with my emails. Like, reply to this email and say, I want in. Because I also have a special giveaway for my mailing list that I have going on. So that's the way to let me know that they're interested. Reply to this email and say, I want in. Yes, yes, definitely make sure it's more than a demand, and posing questions is a good call to action. And it's a simple one too, because you don't want to overuse the same ones over and over and over again. So even though the goal is for people to buy into your business, to buy into the services or products that you offer, you still want them to feel valued. You still want them to feel as if they are a part of the experience. And even with websites, which is what I mentioned to you guys at the top of the video that I wanted to mention, when it comes to writing copy for websites, this one is a really big one, because you can have a really beautiful website that has everything done correctly. So you got all the captions that you need to draw people in with catchy headlines, you got engaging content, everything is adequately spaced, because one thing that will turn people off is a cluttered website. However, if people are browsing your website and they have absolutely no idea what to do once they're done, they're not going to want to buy into whatever it is that you are offering them. They're going to click off. I've done that a lot of the times. Even something as simple as wanting to contact someone, I didn't see it. So it's like, that's a lost sale, so I'm just not going to look into this any further. Yep. So my sister says that strategy works for me. I enjoy commenting on people's posts when they tell me what to type. Like, I do it too. And it's fun, it's engaging, and it also makes you feel as if you're a part of a community when you see other people who've commented as well. So just making sure that you are making it fun, making it interactive, making it clear. And also, if you wanted to learn more about how to write effective copy for websites, I talked about it a little bit in one of my live videos here on @Masterpieces Writing. And I believe it's entitled, Your Website is Costing You Money, Here's How to Fix It. So you can watch it on IG or on Masterpieces Writing and Editing on YouTube to find out more details, because I used to work as a website evaluator for one of my independent contractor positions years ago. And when I tell y'all, like, I came across a lot of websites that were very cluttered, that just had things everywhere that would fill ads, and it's like, oh, this is a turnoff. And even with all of that, you could not find how to contact people. You didn't really know what they wanted from you. It was just all over the place. So, and more than just social media, more than blogs, emails, like, you have to pay attention to your websites too. I do too. My sister says she likes it when the host likes and responds to her comment. Yeah, because it makes you feel seen. It makes you feel valued. So I'm going to add one more bonus that I did not include in the original list, but I did just want to make sure that this was emphasized. So again, just to do a recap, we have a catchy title and headline, we have engaging content, we have adequate space, and we have a call to action. So another way to make sure that you are writing sales copy that will put money in your pocket is to make it attractive, to make it something that people want to engage with, something that people look forward to seeing. So this is where you get creative. So I will admit, when I first started posting about my business, I didn't even want to include an image with the caption. So I did not get on Instagram until a few years later, because I just couldn't see myself creating an image. It just felt like too much. So I would get on Twitter, on Facebook, need editing for an academic paper, email me at so-and-so. And there are so many mistakes in that. It's just 2 sentences, no clear ideas to who I am, what all I offer, what I do. It was a lot of mistakes, and I missed out on a lot of sales too. When I tell you, like, hardly no one interacted with those. But when I began to put more effort into it, that's when I started to see the return. So, again, and thank you again, Lorna, for putting all these tips on the screen. So, make sure that you are making it to where people really want to see what it is that you are offering them, what you are communicating to them. And even with creating images, there is copy in images. So making sure that you're intent about how you're placing it. And even the things that I'm telling you now can apply to the image that you're creating. Making sure that you're utilizing that white space, that you have engaging content, making sure that you have something that's catchy, that captures people's attention. I even sometimes put a call to action in the image because sometimes people don't read the caption. So all of these things can apply to that. Even with emojis, which is something that took me a while to get into, but now I enjoy it. But the only thing is when people overuse emojis, that's the thing that can be a turn off. However, if you are using relevant emojis that are related to what you're talking about and you're careful with where you place them, how much you place them, they can be very effective. And one of the ways that I like to use emojis is as my bullet points. So instead of using traditional dots, I might use a pen or a piece of paper or a book, like depending on what it is that I am talking about. And I think that's a very great way to make it fun, to make it attractive, in addition to having your effective copy, first of all, and then having an image that goes along with it. I'm so glad you mentioned that. My sister says she loves emojis and GIFs. And this is a big one. The GIFs, if you are doing blogs and emails, if you have that capability to add it, add it. There is someone who I follow on social media, and she makes pins. And when I tell y'all, like, her emails are so enjoyable. I look forward to seeing them all the time because she incorporates all of these things. It's very interactive and it's so animated, and I absolutely love it. And it incorporates her sense of humor, and I'm quite sure she knows her audience. She knows they would enjoy that. So I absolutely love seeing that in emails. They are super duper funny. I don't know if you all watched the versus battle with Amarion and Mario a couple of weeks ago. It was a mess. It was crazy. And she even had a gift the day after the battle. And it was super duper funny. So things like that, if you know that's something that appeals to your audience, like, they will eat it up. Like, trust me, they will love it. And most importantly, if they see you having fun with it, that's going to communicate to them, like, hey, I can have fun too. My sister is laughing. Like, that battle was a mess. But again, have fun with it. Make it attractive. Also, do not overthink it. While of course each of the steps that I mentioned to you, it is going to take work. You're going to have to do it over and over again. And while yes, there are some people who might be able to do it one time and it comes out perfect the first time, it's going to take a lot of practice, especially when you're creating those catchy titles and headlines. You're going to have to do it over and over and over again, until you actually get it, until you get what's really going to stick with people. And again, like I said, I give you the principles with 5 ways to write copy that sells, but this is the formula to make sure that you are creating sales copy that will turn into money. And if you want more details about how to turn your sales copy into money, make sure that you go to the link in the bio and pre-order my new course, Copy This, Copywriting for Business 101. So, Madison joined. Hey, Madison. It's not letting me wait. So, I was just beginning to wrap things up. So, in this video, I was talking about ways to turn your sales copy into money. And number 1, it was creating catchy titles and headlines. Number 2, it was creating engaging content. Number 3, using adequate spacing. Number 4, having a clear call to action. And the bonus was to make it attractive. And overall, the main goal is to create a conversation with your audience that they're going to want to continue. So to give them something that's valuable to them, something that they're going to be excited to see every single time that you post, something that is going to let them know, hey, this is beneficial to me, something that they can share, something that they can comment on, something that they can feel a part of. So, does anyone have any questions before I officially wrap things up? Going to wait a little while just to see if I have any questions. And yes, definitely refrain from overthinking, because you will spend more time overthinking than actually creating your content. I have been there. I have done that, which is why I do not mind taking a break from it, because sometimes it can be overwhelming. When it's something that you want to achieve and it's like, okay, I have to figure out the right way to get people's attention, but it's best to just let it flow naturally. That way you don't have to overthink. So, just gonna hang out for a little while longer. And I definitely thank you guys for tuning in again tonight. And as I mentioned last night on Let It Go Wednesday, I have 2 more videos that I'm going to do, and then I am going to take a break. And I have not decided how long that break is going to be, but I think I'm probably just going to do 1 video at the top of August and just take a break and return in the fall, in September. And I have a lot of content that's already ready to go. And like I mentioned, if you missed Let It Go Wednesday last night, make sure that you go over to @SheWritesMasterpieces on IG or Confessions of a Good Girl. And like I said, I talked about the power of connection. And if that's something that's been a struggle for you, something that you want to work on strengthening, something that even if you have not tried before, just working on building your connections, please make sure that you go and check out that video. All right. So it seems like we don't have any questions, but in the meantime, if you do, make sure that you send me a comment. You can send me a DM. If you have any ideas for any future content, I'm always open to hear what you guys are thinking, so make sure that you share that information with me, either in the comments or in the DMs. Also, as always, you can go to the link in the bio, go to my website, browse around. As I mentioned last time, I'm booked with book coaching and with editing. However, send me a message or either book a meet and greet and we can get you scheduled ahead of time. So you can be booked, I believe, I'm going to do probably September. I'm probably still not going to open things up in August. I'm going to just finish what I'm working on. So we can get you booked in September. But in the meantime, if you would like to do a one-on-one session, if you need any career services or copywriting services, make sure that you shoot me an email or sign up for a meet and greet, and we can get you in now. That's something that you don't have to wait for. And as always, my Gumroad store is open 24/7, and my Pay What You Want sale is still going on, so you can get up to 50% off full ebooks and bundle deals. So make sure that you check that out. And also, make sure that you pre-order Copy This, Copywriting for Business 101. And like I mentioned, this is perfect for business owners who want to grow their business, freelancers who want to add new services, or even side hustlers who are looking for a lucrative side income. I'm telling you, copywriting is the way to go because it's always in high demand and it has a valuable impact. So make sure that you all check that out. And I'm trying to make sure that was everything that I wanted to share with you all. And this is the thing I always forget. So make sure that you like this video, that you share this video, that you save this video if you are on Instagram, because that puts the message in front of more people. So make sure that you are doing that. And as always, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I will see you all in 2 weeks. So have an amazing night, an amazing weekend, and I will see you later. Bye.